Hey,
All
I
being
just here's the
issue
thing.
because I said so.
I only said that it's not going to be a dream, so I made that very specifically clear. It's not going to be a dream.
Remember, this isn't some Stardew situation again. I can't just go fishing for 12 hours.
All right.
Yeah.
So, yes,
Well, what?
it could probably be a problem. So, now I got us online, live, and everything else, and just make sure we're recording. Yes, we're recording. All right, hello everyone. This is Miser Mark. Today's gonna be a bit of a RP slash maybe short session of Into the Wildlands. We are currently missing a couple of our players, half the party, but that's fine. You know what? Last couple of sessions, they were in intense fights. They fought the time cops. They fought the various forms of entropy, and they even encountered the ultimate evil of the multiverse for the time being. And now they just came back from not Primus's replacement and found their very universe turned into a mass void of nothing. And currently are in the floating dimensional shop of Deneb. They have some connections of the Storm Stinger crew, which they are also haplessly floating in the unknown void. Survivors of the Emerald Star Outposts are here. Thankfully, the vast majority of them, because the rest of the Wildlands has just been turned into nothing. Baractos is floating elsewhere due to the immense power he had gained from the battle. And everyone is just pondering as to what to do right now. So this is somewhat of a moment of time of reflection, thought process, and perhaps planning to go make a rescue mission later. So I will leave it to right now our three players that are currently present. There is Ari'zel, Ataria, Syndra, currently being served food, drink. The location that they're in, the interdimensional tavern of Deneb, is filled with many of the people that they have helped in the Emerald Star Outpost, some of them in other places. Their friends and allies. This little haven in a pool of nothing but entropy. Take it away, my players.
You know, sorry, give me a minute. You think at this point we've seen all the shit, but it just keeps getting fucking worse.
Yes, but at least we're surviving somehow, which, whether that's a good thing or not.
Well, my worry is, since we're essentially in the void now, wouldn't the Neb shop be a beacon for people to fucking start shooting us down?
If they care, and I suspect that there's some kind of shielding going on to keep us from being noticed. A tiny speck in nothing.
Already time to get hammered. So what you're saying is it's hammer time. Is your bike not working, Ari or River?
I think it's on, but it might kind of cut in and out. So,
It seems to be working
probably not
fine.
great.
Well, it seems to be working fine now. A little high, but that's fine.
So, as you are mentioning about the protection of this spot, the tiny little cat avatar of Deneb just makes a slight cough of, yes, I did acquire a few instruments, equipment, things that would prevent unwanted guests coming into my home.
I'm assuming at the very least that Zarnball is preventing you from being a beacon that everyone just starts shooting down.
That too. Also, Jabalaba over here points to the chef and a few other helpful individuals. But it is quite taxing, so everyone has to more or less do roundabout rest and recharge.
Makes sense considering where we are. The end of existence tends to be taxing.
Yes, I don't know where to run at this point. I lost contact with, well, everything.
Well, there's no running. We're essentially rebuilding reality as we know it. So we either can get erased by it or remake it. Kind of take your pick.
I like what I have at the moment. I don't want to start collecting again.
I'll keep that in mind if we ever reset anything. Looks at Syndra.
I don't intend to reset a damn thing. Just get back what we had.
I don't know enough of your grand plan, so I trust whatever you're going to do at the very least.
Speaking of plans, looks over to Ataria. I have been to gotten a guest, an unwanted guest, but they did show up in the front door, so they kind of showed politeness.
Can I talk to them without them interfering in this place? Kind of like through a screen door is the best way to describe it.
I was gonna ask if you wanted a private chat or bring a companion along.
Can you say who it is in my mind before I answer that? So you could just DM that to me, Miser.
Let me just grab this.
I'm gonna get a DM. It's like the worst possible thing.
She then pauses and just says, looks at you again, then looks to Ari'zel, then to Syndra. Sighs. Fine, I will just give you the message, Ataria, but like I said, don't go overboard and just bring one.
Me about to just bring Syndra to fucking fuck blast whoever gets sent to me.
You're not gonna bring a girlfriend?
One of you's gonna fuck blast. It ain't gonna be me. Well, I'm still waiting to see what Miser's.
Yeah, you got the. Yeah, I got the.
I just got. Give me a minute. I have to actually look at the name. It's been a minute. Oh, is that not in my names?
Look in your.
Oh,
You did roll a 1, just so you know.
yeah. Syndra, you see like the deepest sigh from Ataria. Fuck me.
That's not my thing. Go ahead.
No, it's my father.
Your father?
Yeah?
I thought you killed him. Oh wait,
I did.
So as I said, as you hear the familiar here, he is currently at the front door of the shop. But would you like a hidden room or take it out back?
Take it out back.
Oh, goody. Be sure to have a few spectators on the far off sidelines. I get to film this. Alright, give me a moment to not just only switch maps, but also move some tokens around.
So who do you want? Ari, or do you want the peasant who's very good at patricide?
Neither right now. As much, I don't think bringing a tiefling or a drow to a man that's inherently racist is the best thing in the world. If I need to kill him, I'll do it myself.
Just remember, 57 times is a good number.
If I need either you or Tannen, you know what'll happen. And she pokes at her head. Oh, I guess Ari in this regard. And Tannen tends to be ill-exposed at the moment.
Yep, currently he is passed out after drinking a strange concoction.
Though I think introducing my father that, hey, I'm making love to a tiefling is probably not the best thing, when he's also inherently racist.
My father was too.
I feel like that's a common thing.
Actually, you know what? Let me do myself a favor here, since I don't need this anymore. I'm just gonna get rid of the dynamic lighting in this spot. I don't need it
I feel
anymore.
like your father's racism and mine are two inherently different things.
There we go.
Because one's a drow, one's a high elf, so they're
No,
very...
they were both high elves.
Oh, were they? I didn't
Yeah.
know her dad was a high elf. I actually didn't.
Yeah, Syndra's mixed. She's half high elf, half drow.
Ooh, that's rough, buddy.
So, Ataria, you'll be coming out here.
Okay, give me 1 sec.
I mean, he did say to take it out back, so...
No, I got that. Just give me 1 second, because I'm trying to do like 3 things at once. On the bridge, or can you ping again?
The circle.
The big
Okay.
funny stump circle.
Yeah, I got it.
Ah! Ari'zel, you missed it.
Yeah, do you want to meet my dad? The racist? You're welcome to come. Oh, you're coming, too bad. I invited you.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Dad, this is my girlfriend. She's also a spawn of hell.
Is that... Well... First, I do need to give a description of this man anyway, so... This is gonna be
Go ahead while we're waiting. Alright, you can throw yourself down on the token next to Ada.
Okay, so... Ataria, as you are
I thought about
materializing...
it. I think it's funnier that, like, interaction-wise to bring Ari.
I mean, again, I'm leaving that up to you. That's why Deneb asked
I
that.
think realistically, I didn't want to like say anything just because River wasn't here at the moment. I think realistically, she would probably bring Ari because at least if it's gonna be her dad, like, hey, this is my girlfriend. She may be a spawn of Satan, but hey,
But,
Mari's better at stabbing than I am.
true. And he's definitely gonna be up close and personal and not very
I need to roll this for him. Actually.
magically or physically inclined, but definitely magically
Okay.
inclined.
I'm just gonna add that there. So, Ataria, as you...
Racism.
So, Ataria, as you materialize into the plane that contains Deneb's shop, or her dimensional shop, you do see a very familiar figure from your past. A very standoffish elf of almost alabaster skin tone, even more so than a typical pale elf. The hair, which used to have been a platinum blonde, looks like it's now becoming a, well, dried wheat sort of blonde. Very unkempt at the moment. In fact, even his fine robes, it's very obvious that they've been very unkempt and damaged. And what used to be his usually high cheekbones and fine sculptured figure, or at least the face and all that, sunken in as if he hasn't eaten or kept himself sustained in who knows how long. bit more gaunty-ish. But as soon as you do materialize, you do hear the words, which are not directed at you, but more towards a direction by you. I say, this is most peculiar for a merchant to treat their guests, taking them out back. I came here to provide aid and even offered my full name and lineage, and you're bringing me out here?
I recommend you at least hold your tongue before you start knowing where your lineage lies, as Ataria said something, looking at him.
I need to see if you can... This will be a disadvantage for him. Oh, well. That makes sense. Oh, let's just close these, because I don't need any of these right now. Close this, and this, and this, because that will be in my way, and I don't need them. So, the man looks for a brief moment right at you, Ataria, squints his eyes a bit, even tilts his head slightly to the side in a puzzlement. I'm sorry, am I to recognize you, Miss...
Ataria de Syndra, thank you.
Are you part of the Branch family? I don't recall someone carrying our family name of that name.
Oh, wait! I just remembered she erased herself from time. Whoops! Fuck. I was like, wait. Sure, you could say I am of high lineage comparable to yourself.
He looks immediately at Deneb's direction. Is this some sort of joke? Deneb just shrugs. I mean, you share the same last name. I'm only drawing simple conclusions as a merchant.
What are you here for? As she's just kind of looking him up and down now.
Yeah, as you
Trying
get
not to... Sorry, go ahead. You go first.
I was saying, as you get a better, you can roll me a perception or investigation. You get a different answer for one or the other.
I think I'm just looking which. I know my perception. I think is better. Hold on, I'm loading my character sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my perception's way better. 19 or 16. I thought it wasn't mine.
Okay, so as you get a better look, same thing. Clothes are a bit ragged, torn. Heck, you even notice a couple of scratch and burn marks on his the ends of his sleeves and clothing. Though overall, it seems like he is a bit unpleasant with this turn of events, as when you ask him as to what his business is here, he kind of crinkles his nose in your direction. The same, and you do recognize immediately the same way he would to anyone he deems either inferior or less desirable than himself. Or
let me ask this: was
yes.
it like a similar way that Ataria would originally, like when she first came to this island?
Very much so.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And he just looks right back to the Neb, while still answering your question, but answering it through her. Right, I was trying to inform you of the situation of things and perhaps a way to find a safe passage through this strange event that has been happening.
What, am I to believe we're about to enlist the help from the Cult of the Stars?
Now he looks right back at you, somewhat surprised. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised if you are of our family, but yes.
You know what happened the last time we did something like this? My cousin got killed as a sacrifice in order to open a gate. And I'd rather not.
Somehow this tracks.
I love how somehow the through line of both of them are going. But anyway, continue.
Yep, so again, he looks at you with some scrutinizing, as if there was some sort of weird communication problem that's happening. And he just adds, I do not know what you are referring to, but when we make our holy offerings, usually those chosen are those that champion our cause and be good representatives of our patrons.
If you're offering to an far realm god being... I'm not going to say the fucking name because I know what it is, but I don't want to. As she kind of like, how's the best way to put this? Implies the name is really a good way to champion those to the king in yellow, to the king in gold.
Again,
I'm well aware of what your order wishes to do. If anything, I was once their priestess, and I'd rather not fucking deal with them again. And pray tell, how the fuck would you how would the Court of Stars wish to aid in the coming of the end?
So he looks somewhat mystified, as if he also got smacked with a cold hand of water. I am most confused and unsure as to what you are referring to, Miss...
Ataria.
Ataria. For some reason, it sounds like saying that name feels familiar, but no, never mind. You're referring to the vile faction of the Outer Realm beings of the King of Yellow, Gold, whatever it refers to itself. We are referring to the forgotten astral dragon, the star dragon that once ruled at least our side of the constellations.
What? Wait. Can I roll a history?
Yes. So what are you looking for in history? I should have asked.
I'm looking to see if I remember anything like this versus what like my mother/grandmother did. So I'm kind of like seeing where the schism, like trying to figure out if I could like rack my brain where the schism happened between the King in Gold and the Forgotten Star Dragon.
Well, with the 21, I'll give this bit. In the previous sessions, when you were looking for the information on the Star Dragon, it was oddly inconvenient, but also a strange coincidence that the Golden King and some other far realm creatures kept getting in your particular line of sight. Like a distraction.
Fuck, what was the name of our party again? Because my brain is blunking, because I know I named it after.
Fading Hearts.
You're referring to the Fading Dragon, aren't you?
Ah, and here I was thinking that you were some sort of heretic that was trying to pretend to be one of our family members.
No, I'm well aware. But I'm also aware that those cloaked in gold have been meaning to assassinate the Fading Dragon and take the realm for their own.
Yes, there has been that weird issue. I'm not quite certain as to what has happened, but...
You want me to explain it? We've got a lot of time.
Very well, considering that you seem to be in the thick of this sort of situation.
So, I'll give him. I know, because I don't want to explain this fully, because I know it'll take a lot of time. I want to give him, like, the very bare minimum of what happened to the Fading Dragon and everything I know about the King in Gold, while leaving out, like, some important bits of, like, who Ataria is, and just, like, general information that we've kind of acquired over, like, the whole time playing this game.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll this at normal. I don't want to show his modifiers just yet. Oh, damn. He's not gonna take it well. Yeah.
That's fine.
He looks very disbelieving. Does not want to believe what you're saying. At the same time, he can't quite. Well, it is obvious on sight. He is definitely afraid.
On the plus side, and I don't if to dissuade any of your fears, my role at the moment is to take the place of the Fading Dragon, since there is a current missing of her throne, and I'm one of the last aspects of her. Combined with a, how do I say, a cheat that I've basically obliterated the priestess of the golden one, I kind of have a more easier shot at doing it.
I am still trying to digest this strange news, but considering that the vast majority of Silvery Moon just suddenly vanished and other locations across, well, all of Toril is gone in an instant. No location nor even sense of the other places, entities, or even the touch of the divine. I am somewhat forced to regrettably accept what you have just told me.
At the very least, any assistance to the Fading Dragon would be more appreciated, considering there aren't many followers of her left.
Yes, my family were devout followers, though some schism had happened within our family. A traitor, as one would say, one that became, well, I wouldn't, calling that one a traitor was too much, more like they were misled.
You're referring to, hold on, I'm gonna pull my sheet. You're referring to Andromeda, aren't you?
He pauses to think. I gotta roll again for him.
I do apologize if you find it weird that I'm well versed in our lineage. It's been a hobby of mine.
Yes, I'm surprised you know her actual name and not her public name.
Which would that be?
She went by many public names, but mostly to keep the vast majority of adversaries off her back. Unfortunately, giving you all of her known public names would take a while. And I believe time is... He pauses as he's kind of realized what you were just telling him has become quite irrelevant now.
Yes, we're on the clock, but also not, if you can believe it. but I do appreciate any help that a fading dragon could provide, especially being the last of her priestesses. Even a devout follower is all fine to me. I trust there's no longer any surviving members of your family left, and you're the last one.
Unfortunately.
This is fine.
Galong was the one that made sure that I went through the portal before he was sworn.
Eviscerated by the end of existence, I'm assuming.
More like the agents and creatures that were fluttering about in the void.
Sounds about right, to be honest, especially since we're at that point. Well, if you at least want a drink for a little bit of time to ease your mind, you can just step on this portal, and they should be at least take you to there. But for now, rest up, and any assistance you can provide to those of the Fading Dragons, and to the Fading Hearts, aka who I'm currently working with, named Thawafta after the dragon, it'd be most appreciated.
Kind of has a bit of a stiff upper back lip a little bit. Leans up, try to go to his full height, despite his disheveled appearance. Looks in the direction of Ari'zel, then to Deneb, then looks right back at you.
Also, that's my girlfriend, so if you say shit, I'm going to blow your face off.
Deneb adds, "Yes, all my customers are not just high elves or other things. I am a merchant. I work with everybody. Before she blows you up, I will turn you into a pumpkin."
Oh, can I blow up the pumpkin? Blow up? But either way, we appreciate all and any aid you are able to provide, especially in this dour hour. And think of it as recompense for the Fading Dragon who has gone lost and as the only surviving priestess. And though thou who wish to ascend, think of it as aiding of a second coming. God damn, of course he nats 20s on me, like just fucking kissing his ass.
You do not need to give me that much pleasantries. Despite the fact that I would like to keep my appearances and policies as high elf and one of the high priests, bishops, as one would even call me at a time, of the Fading Dragon's church, that title doesn't seem to really matter anymore at this moment. So,
Well, think
looks
of it like... Oh, sorry. You can finish.
he looks over to
go.
Deneb. "I don't suppose your tavern supplies high vintage wine?"
What's his, how do you pronounce his name, Miser? Because you wrote it. I actually don't know. Is it Sygonus?
Yes, Sygonus.
Okay. Look at it this way, Sygonus. Once I properly ascend and we fix all the problems, you can be the first pope of the Fading Dragons and take on that role, and I'm entrusting that to you. Might as well fucking just stroke his ego over here. I'm well aware of how my dad operates, and he's very egotistical.
Yep, and as soon as you say that, the Neb almost like teleports right next to him. "Right, so those that enter my tavern needs to sign this waiver and this here and there. Contracts and all that, please, this is all for the safety of my clientele and guests."
How to negotiate? Just fucking offer him the best position he can have outside of Ascension.
So he signs up a few contract sheets and just very quietly, without even giving any more conversations, just walks up to the teleporter, to the circle.
Before he
Yes.
Before he teleports, Ataria will offer hand. It was a pleasant time to meet you, Syganus. Or she offers her hand to him.
Yeah, I missed something. I'm sorry.
Yes.
TLDR, I basically just offered this man a pope position once I basically ascend to the role of the fading dragon.
Oh boy, he's gonna have a role in this. Oh fuck. Cool.
Well, he's one of the few people that actually know, like, the fading dragon religion, so it does help.
Oh, okay. Alright.
He pauses for a minute. It looks like he's about to hesitate, and then he just very calmly just gives you a weak handshake, and you realize that because now you're really closer to him, he's very thin, and you can roll me a medicine check if you want.
That's my shit. Why would I not?
I also would like to shake his hand as a sense of welcoming to the group, and also to share that like I'm friendly.
Okay, so
25.
you realize that this man had just went through quite a few dozen stat draining effects.
Also, see a fucking doctor. You look like shit. Especially magically.
I just need about 4 hours and I should be fine, without something or someone trying to kill me from the vast nothingness. Gives a polite slight head bow towards head tilt towards Ari'zel and to you, Ataria, as he vanishes.
Well, Ari, that went better than I thought. At least we got an ally. He also didn't shake your hand, so he left you hanging. And Ari just
He did. He would have.
Alright.
He would
Yeah, I know.
have. But you all would have noticed that. Yeah, the arms are very thin, like toothpicks.
Yeah, I figured. So Ataria will just shake Ari's hand. There you go. Welcome to the Fading Hearts. I'm glad to have you.
I'm 2 seconds from slapping you. You're ridiculous.
You get used to it. I'm kind of an asshole.
Yo, I'm already used to it.
Oh, so I don't get to turn him into a pumpkin.
No, we actually do need him, Denem. All things considering, the Fading Dragon has basically been wiped from existence, and I need at least one devout follower in order to ascend, and having him at least gives me some kind of anchorage.
Yes, this may sound a bit rough, so I'll just say this here, since there's no one else out here with us right now. It seems like he's from a parallel time-ish thing. Hard to say.
Yeah, that's what I assumed, considering that they're actually believing in the Church of the Fading Dragon rather than the Cult of the Stars. The fact that they see that as the outlier is what worries me.
Or maybe there was a plan to wipe out the Star Family and all that stuff. I don't know. I'm just looking at it from the outside in.
I don't know enough about my family, sadly, to know the very small intricacies here and there. But at the very least, having one believer of the Fading Dragon is a good thing.
Should I try to find more?
If you're willing to, and it doesn't impede protecting this place, then by all means, more believers in our cause versus the King of Gold is well worth it. Especially if they can rally behind Cygnus, who was a major priest, a major bishop, and myself as being one of the main high priestess of it at this point.
I'm back in my old job, helping churches and religions and making people into sheep.
Let's exclude the last part.
It was a joke, dear.
I'm aware, but please. I also am aware that you turn people into pumpkins, so I was like 50-50 on if that was a joke or not.
Only really bad people I turn to pumpkins. than pumpkin pie.
I don't know. That chef seemed to be very okay.
She has the most "are you kidding me" stare on her face.
What? Am I not allowed to make a joke as well?
I didn't think you had it in you.
You obviously haven't seen half of my talks with Tiernan and Syndra.
No, I try to give people their privacy.
Either way, thank you, Danette, for bringing this to my attention.
She gives you 2 fingers sticking up like a victory sign and just walks away.
Well, Ari, we at least didn't fuck this one up, so that's always good.
Well, yeah. I mean, given circumstances of everything else.
Well, I think we could say a job well done and get a fucking drink. Hopefully you don't have to deal with any problems, or Syndra.
Now I need to roll
I
something
wouldn't be
here.
surprised if something comes knocking on my door.
Well, good luck with that. I'm going to go get a fucking drink. And Ataria just disappears.
Okay, 1 second.
Circle myself, damn.
I'm just gonna...
Well, you could always call Ataria if you want her to join you for your problems. Like, I'm not gonna exclude her from that, but she's going to get a drink real quick.
Okay, so... What are you doing, Ataria? I mean, Ari'zel. I'm gonna get names rolled up here.
I am just going to stick outside for a little bit to ruminate on things and watch the pumpkins just because they're there.
Yes. Some of them stand very still as if to fulfill their role as scarecrows. Others are actually tilling the fields. And you definitely hear the weird gurgling noises, the goo goo baba noises at each other. Some of them look like they're trying to pick a fight with one another, but they're being as best and as careful as they can to not damage the goods. Though there is some pushing and shoving as well at times.
Looking like toddlers, love it.
One of them will just point at you occasionally and just shout some weird, random babble, which, in all the languages that you have acquired, you have absolutely no idea what they're saying.
I just give them this lazy look like, yeah, okay, buddy.
Actually, just ping me your languages again. I just want to make certain.
Oh, yeah, let me pull up my thing real quick. Think there's only 3 of them. Common being one of them, official, and I think, what's the other one that's like that? Not that one, but come on, hey, load for me. Good God. F minus. Oh my God, that took forever. Infernal. That's what it was.
Infernal.
This one.
Okay. Yeah, you don't pick up any single words. You even roll around some of the words you think they may be saying, but it doesn't quite match at all. But again, most of the time they just give you some harmless gibbering, and then they gibber at each other. The most harm they do is mostly to each other with a quick shove or a slap. And if we go with the some of those little shows, those cartoon shows where they do like those little fussy little slapping at each other, but they're not really hitting each other.
Yeah.
I thought you meant more like the cartoon slap where it's like the fucking Tom and Jerry yell
Yeah.
when like one of them gets the toes thing.
Actually, no, not to that level yet, but
Okay.
They're just doing like that little slap that's like you're literally arm's length away. Not actually hitting your face, you're just hitting arms.
yeah, you realize they got noodle arms.
Dear God.
It's just like it's like a slap, but it's fucking a horrid slap noise, like a fucking wet fish.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna go by the river now.
Okay. So,
I don't want to see what this turns into.
oh, okay. So here's the interesting thing. You look past the at a certain point from the river or the boundary of it, and there's nothing. You don't know where this water is coming from. You don't know how this water is flowing. But there seems to be a definite and disturbing cutoff point on both the start and end.
Yikes. I don't like.
What makes it a little bit more uncomfortable is that, despite the image that is here present in the on the screen, the star reflections are no longer there. It's just water. Although you can tell that it is a moving river. It's a moving stream, so it's not still water.
There's no reflection. So. Yeah, so I'm gonna sit here for a minute and just contemplate on everything that's going on. Quite frankly, still reeling over, I believe he saw her dad kill her mom, or at least thought it was her dad killing her mom.
I mean,
So yeah, she's playing that in her mind. Hates it.
you can roll me investigation and advantage, or just simply say what you realize what happened.
Damn, where the hell is it? Point. That works. That did, and I got a nat 20. Holy.
Well, I'll just say this. You remember Syndra being cautious about that mask when, or at least was referring to the mask a lot, so you have a good suspicion that whatever Red Fox or Thera's Doom is, well, whatever little sprinkled form that he is, lesser mortals. Unfortunately, your father just got overwritten upon contact. Which would normally be the obvious thought process of just simply sparing the puppet body, but you knew your mother, and other situations it's difficult to fight your own loved ones.
And she's never seen what Red Fox looks like outside of that particular instant, right?
You never, and I'll give this to you with the Nat 20 investigation. All the times you've interacted with Red Fox, he's never taken off that damn mask.
Okay.
He had plenty of different suits, different hats, different accessories, but that mask was always there. In fact, there were even times...
Oh, no, go ahead.
There were even times where you would have heard your captors even discuss if that was actually Red Fox's actual head or his face.
Right. And I guess my question would be, because now she's kind of like ruminating on the fact that it was possibly her dad, but she's kind of got two warring sides, because I don't know as a player, if I remember correctly, that we found out. Oh no, was that Ed? Or was that Red Fox that we thought was potentially Syndra? I forget.
Which part? That...
Like, I guess the suspicion of who did what, when, where, like, Ed being one of Syndra's, like, other alternative places, or if that was Red Fox.
One of the other timelines, yes, Syndra did wear the mask.
Okay. And that was shared with the group, or potentially with Ari?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, great. Awesome.
Yeah, so you
She's kind of like thinking about all of these all at the same time. And she's very confused. She
Well,
hates it.
again, I'm just giving this to you because you hit the nat 20 with the investigation. You suspect that, at the very least, that mask is the real Red Fox, or at least the control module. And I'll even add this too for it. You recall your time when you had to deal with the little intellect devourer that was using other people's bodies as playthings. This is very much the same.
Oh.
Though you will know for certain that your father would never have willingly chosen to harm your mother or anyone of his family.
Yeah. Well, this is making her brain hurt. As she gives it more deeper thought, because, yeah, she's just not over the sight that she saw. But she's gonna get a drink for 5
You gonna
or
head to
10.
you gonna head to the bar, or you gonna head to Deneb, or you gonna talk to Mock and Tak, who are screwing around with their various types of drinks?
The bar.
Okay. Bar will be back at the circle here. It's kind of like the travel hub.
Oh, like the travel hub. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Awesome.
Or
Okay.
better yet, think of it as the interdimensional elevator.
Okay, cool. Oh, wait. Hang on. Why did my character not... Why? Okay. Literally, the wall stopped me from putting my character there to go up and around.
I'm guessing dynamic lighting walls are still there.
Yeah, probably. It was sitting there like, bitch, you can't go this way.
Okay, so going in order first. So Antagonist goes in first, so let me get him over here. So Syndra, you do hear the sound of the teleporting the teleporter working. And you see this fancy looking son of a bitch is coming in. Looks unkempt too, which is surprising for a high elf, but it doesn't take much of a guess to realize that he got his ass kicked a bit too. And it wasn't fresh, but it was along the lines of, yeah, about a few hours ago he was on the receiving end of something. He walks in for a second, looks around. There's like a little bit of a crunch of his nose, but just silently navigating around to avoid most of the populace as he's keeping distance from all the rabble. Sits at the corner.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
He sits at the very corner.
I would imagine when he did, like, that's when Ataria comes in and, like, kind of sees him and, like, walks up next to him and sits next to him. Just making, like, small talk at that point, just to kind of ease his mind, because I know he's not inherently willing, wanting to deal with that, so, like, I would imagine Syndra would see that as well.
Oh, yeah. I'm just gonna roll this for, who gets to greet him first?
Oh, dear lord.
Oh, best boy greets him first. All right.
This is what I call a very fucked situation.
For him, yes. So,
that's why Ataria's, like, there as, like, a fucking envoy at this point.
Wait, message?
Not like an envoy, sorry, like
Oh.
a, Kind of like, I don't know the... Wait, where's my message?
that was
Oof.
what
I
I...
sent a message about calling him a son of a bitch and it's gone.
Oh.
He probably did.
I think as much as Ataria would want to, she also needs him, so...
Alright, so I rolled a 4. Everyone just sees Galmac, looks at in the direction of the group, or rather at Ataria and the newcomer. Runs over here, and with such ease, is a gentle push to the side, but considering how weak the pumpkin heads are,
Yeah...
this one went
Yeah.
flying into the kitchen.
Is his token that big, or is it just a product of, Is his Cygnus' token that big? Because it's, like, bigger than everyone else's.
It's
I
probably...
didn't know if that was just an accident. There we go.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I probably stretched
So,
without even
Cygnus,
realizing it.
This is, Galmac. A really good chef, but he's very,
You are very tiny and skinny. You need meat.
very approachable. The best way to put it.
You can just see your father. Eye twitches at the approach of the audacity of this orc.
Look at it this way. We're all equals here. As fucked as it may be, we're all trying to survive the end. So, for once, put aside any biases you may have, and think of it this way. It's better to survive and swallow your own pride rather than fucking die into the void and emptiness, no?
I understand your concerns. I am just a bit annoyed that his description of me is a little too accurate and I have no refute for it at the moment.
Well, at least enjoy his meats, because I've heard they're apparently very good. Hell, he even makes a good fruit and vegetable platter, if that's what you're aiming for.
Game looks between you, looks to Cygnus, looks back at you. Are you certain I must give him fruits and veggies?
Give him a small platter of meats for recovery, but at least fruits and vegetables to begin with. We need at least vitamins and minerals from the way he's at least looking to at least recover some strength. Not all muscle mass.
Fine. Garmac will make something substantial.
Fine by me.
My goodness, I didn't think I'll be hearing an orc with such high vocabulary. As you just...
You also have to realize that orc is possessed by a fucking brain slug, apparently.
Well, here's the thing. He's an orc with a K. Your dad thinks he's an orc with a C.
Yeah. God, the orc with a K is always the worst kind of orc because they're actually smart. Yeah, D's nuts. What a mood. Orc with D's nuts.
Orc these nuts, damn it. But anyway. So...
What a good day to drink while we're all just doing this.
So... He hands it to the back, and... Ataria, since you're closest to the entrance of the kitchen, you do see that Galmac is moving very quickly. Efficiency with speed.
Like if it was under the effect of like a haste spell, or just in general, like very fast?
Haste spell.
Okay, that's what I thought.
You, I need you. Grabs the pumpkin that he just kind of kicked in there. Literally picks him up too.
God bless our orc chef, didn't fucking die.
And then you see, you can roll me a perception. Is a little bit more difficult from that angle.
That's fine. I'm imagining because my perception's at least decent, I'll roll decently well, but I don't know. Okay.
So you just see Galmac just shove the pumpkin head into the pot.
You know, I'm not surprised in the slightest.
You see for a very brief moment of thrashing and everything, then Galmic just slams a very large lid over the pot. And looks like he locked it up or something, and then he proceeds to chop up some very quick, brief stew meat. Goes right back up to it. Pours the pieces of meat. Very chaotic style of cooking, but somehow he's getting things done. In less than 10 minutes, starts bolting right back out. Offers both you and your father a bowl of beef pumpkin stew. New invention.
I will eat it very begrudgingly because I just saw what fucking happened.
Yeah, guess what? The other pumpkin head immediately ran over here. What? It is good. Plenty of fiber. And Iber objects. Electronites.
Just so you know, I'm gonna eat it, but I also realized I was like, because of my general background in cooking, I realized this is essentially just cannibalism, but not.
You don't know that person was an elf.
That's not what cannibalism means.
Syndra, you see very quickly
Anyway.
as Galmac was as soon as he came back out of the kitchen, Duffma and a few of the pumpkinheads immediately ran away from him.
Oh my god.
Defma, it's good to know you were around. It's good to see you.
Yes, I was lucky. Points to the cat woman, the familiar of the Neb. The little cat one with the hat and the pumpkin thing saved me. Well, it was interesting. I was going to be made into ingredients. But then he looks past you, though I don't think I have escaped that fate yet.
Jesus Christ. Well,
But it's good to see you again, Captain Syndra.
God, it's been a while since I've heard that title.
Duffma very carefully places himself back on top of the counter. But he's still keeping distance from Galmac, as only Ataria saw the horror of what the huge orc man had done to the pumpkin head. Unfortunately, your father did not see any of that. He was just very perplexed of a orc actually working in the... Well...
I mean, I hope at the very least he's eating the pumpkin soup when Ataria is. Because, like, I think the way I would envision it is Ataria is eating it to keep, like, a face in order to, like, this is good kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. He's not, he is eating it carefully. And you can even see it on his face of, I can't believe an orc can actually cook a suitable meal. Kind of look on his face.
This man is fully racist.
He is high elf. Very high. He is very high elf.
You would think that, at least if the priestess was accepting it, he would kind of, like, bend his tongue a little.
Oh, he's...
Or swallow his pride, rather.
He's tolerating it, but doesn't mean he has to like it.
Fair enough. My assumption, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, is that because of Ataria's trying to keep a face of being the priestess of the fading dragon, it's the only reason why he's tolerating it.
Yes, that's basically it. He doesn't have to like it; he'll tolerate it.
Fair enough. Okay, continue. Sorry about that.
Yep. Syndra, Armana is also joining you by your side to drink. Duffma is just trying his best to keep his distance from Galmac, because Galmac, and it is very obvious to everyone that Galmac keeps looking at Duffma's direction. And then he even says, like, need shrooms. So, Duffma looks over to you. Duffma will now proceed to go find Duffme and also go see wife.
Syndra kind of blinks for a moment, looks to Mana. I didn't think they understood marriage. That's different.
I think he means the one that spawned his... How do plants work again? She kind of looks over the direction where Duffma had went.
They spore.
Yes. I'm just trying to figure that out with sentient myconids. There are myconids, right? I feel like ever since I came to this land, my common sense has been flipped entirely upside its head, and then someone decided to shake it upon a cocktail drink mixer and then flip it again over and over until left is right, right is left, and there is no up or down.
Yeah, I just had to play verbal chess with a god of destruction. I'm pretty sure everything doesn't make sense anymore.
Is that why the entire kind of points to the closest thing that could be a window, or rather the doorway of the teleporters? Why the rest of the world just poofed? Or...
No, that still has to do with that, all that bullshit. But I guess it's worth saying that the reason why we never killed Red Fox was because he was a god.
a god complex, yes?
Just deadpan stares at her like, no.
Kinda just fixes her glasses. Right. Yeah, I was wondering if you were cracking a joke.
I wish.
An actual god. That explains why he doesn't seem to care about the amounts of minions and mooks and followers that... Oh, that actually explains why he has so many followers.
I'm still going to kill him. Somehow. Haven't figured it out yet. There's got to be a way.
Maybe put him in a little box and have him be forgotten by the rest of the entire universe. At least what's left of it.
You know, you're right. That's how another god of destruction was handled. Could work twice, couldn't it?
Also, the majority of the crew are safe, wandering around here and the other sections of points in Deneb's familiar cat form. Her shop is quite a peculiarity. And Smee is enjoying his time with the albino, the lady goblin.
Syndra thinks about it for a moment. She reaches over and puts her hand on Amana's knee. Sorry, I'm still not used to this whole thing.
She moves her seat more closer to yours and wraps her arm around yours, hooks it up. Well, if it is at the end of this so-called universe, then best get used to getting practice now. She gives you a light peck on the cheek. It is odd
Syndra. Yeah.
that, despite all the weird things and strange stuff that we've encountered, it is at the near end of the universe we can show public affection like this. I was a tad bit worried.
Amana, you know that I didn't really understand these feelings until, well, until I thought you were gone. Well, the risk.
I
I've
understand.
kind of believed it without believing that I honestly care about anyone. Well, that was a mistake on my behalf.
Well, we are here, and we are rectifying that. Again, she gives you another kiss. Though, again, one of the things that I do find amazing is all these people. So many differences of backgrounds, place, origin. Apparently, from hearing time. And to think, we had to deal with so much of the bigotry of politics, caste, and all those other things that make people separate each other. Maybe a twisted way for me to say this, but I don't want this moment to end.
No, I don't intend to let it end. Whatever I have to do to bring the universe back to what it was is what I will do. Minus a few things. And add a few, I think.
Yes, let's be sure to put whatever Red Fox is in a box, and then it'll be forgotten for the rest of whatever ends of another universe is. For now, just stay by my side, dear. My Syndra.
Syndra takes a pretty heavy drink after thinking about it for a moment, then turns, touches the side of Amana's face, and kisses her, like, for real.
Oh, she follows that through.
That was an experience I've never had.
You can see there's a nice little flush of embarrassment, but there's definitely a pleasant smile. You do hear some cheering from everyone in the background.
Oh, bloody hell.
Well,
What the fuck is going on? I'd imagine it's loud enough for me to pick up.
oh yeah. Even your father just looks in that direction, just quietly rolls his eyes. Also, Ataria, I need you to roll me a D100.
Oh dear lord. Do I have to?
Yes.
Can I say no?
Okay, I'll do it then.
No, I got it. Joking.
Okay. I'm not sorry. So,
Either, because I'm not either at this fucking point, miser. Just end me at this point.
Who is?
You all remember who this is.
Oh my fucking god.
Holy
Can I
shit, he
just-
survived.
Can I just fucking leave the session?
Again, I'm pretty sure he's a time traveling wizard.
I
At
mean,
this
if you-
point, I've seen him in 3 Miser campaigns. I'm pretty sure he is. The universe exploding can't end him.
Ari'zel, at this time too, my apologies. You arrived just in time to hear the whole cheering and shebang coming in. Sorry, I forgot to move you in just in that time. And also, as you are, no worries, but as you are approaching into the tavern section of Deneb's multi-layer dimension shop, you do hear the cheers, and you also see Ataria with her father, who does not know her existence, or at least this version doesn't. And you see a very familiar old man just suddenly slides up right next to the two of them. The best part is, I think the only one who would notice his appearance showing up is just Ataria. I was gonna roll this for you.
I'm about to fucking end him, man.
Your father's not even realize there's an old, crazy old man sitting right next to him.
What do you need, old Dan?
I need to roll this for Dan now. Did he get his wits about him now? Just give me a moment. I put your sheet somewhere, didn't I? Oh, wait, wrong one. Just a moment, I need to find my chaos character. Here he is. Just enough. Okay. So, Ataria, as you asked that question, your father looks somewhat confused. Then he turns to look at the direction you're staring at, and he almost jumps out of his seat as Mad Dan just goes drinking from a strange iron flask that, with your perception, you can tell that there is a weird-looking face embedded onto it.
And if you're gonna do some weird shit, please at least do it 20 feet away from me.
I was just interested in the tiny mushroom man. I almost want to poke him gently on the tongue.
Tiny mushroom man, almost.
Yeah, this one.
Like, oh,
She's referring to this one here. Like, it is tiny. It's the only reason why he survived so far, being on the same counter with Galmac running around. Galmac has not noticed him yet. And Duffme just gives a wave, while Mad Dan, again drinking from his strange iron flask, your father looks horribly disgusted at seeing this strange hobo sitting right next to him. Looks at you, Ataria. Strange things? I mean, comparing to the end of the end of the universe and everything else. Is my existence really that bad?
No, but I need to know what the fuck you want, considering you have somehow survived the essentially a nuke to the fucking head. That
Oh.
all existence is gone.
I stepped into that thing as he points in the direction of the pumpkin. That's
How
right
the
there,
fuck
laying
am
on the ground.
How am I not fucking surprised that you just hijacked a pumpkin?
Yes. The very sexy witch lady that owns this place was really mad.
How am I also not surprised at that? Okay. What do you want, Daniel? Money? Mushrooms?
Oh, usually I try to sniff those two, but they run away, and the other one's right next to the... Hello, Ari'zel! As he waves at her.
Ari, just ignore him. Like a drunkard.
I am just curious. Yes, very curious. Time. The strange continuum of it all went to zero. How do you feel?
I'd say relatively fine, considering we've obliterated at least 3 or 4 different times.
He looks over
Any other
to
questions?
he looks over to Arizel's direction and says, I am not sure. Apparently I am still chaos.
Is there anything you want, Daniel, since you're here?
No. Yes. No, not really. Curious? Yes.
Please answer an actual... Hold on. So I'm gonna do something weird, and either you can say yes or no to this. So I'm gonna touch Daniel and try to have him, myself, act as a focal point, so he can kind of be, instead of multiple continuums at one, just one. So I could fucking focus for like at least a minute.
Okay.
So what do I have to roll for that?
First I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw, normal.
I don't have any inspiration, do I?
Not at this moment. But it is kind of funny what you're doing.
Fuck me, man. Wait.
Okay.
Let me look. I might have some bullshit, so give me a minute. I might be able to ask for something. Hold on, let me roll my d6 because I technically haven't yet for whim or well. Oh, that actually might save me. Can I roll my wheel or well?
You may.
Okay. D6. So let me roll my d6. 18?
It's a passing.
Okay, that's fine then.
Now, roll me. This is gonna be a fun one if you succeed on this one. I hope so too. Roll me a history. Normal.
Come on. This is where I really want the nat 20. I highly doubt I'll get it, but... God damn. 21.
Alright, now I just need the final one, which is a D10.
No, Ari, you just watch fucking Ada put her hands on Daniel, like the, that focus hands of... Fucking focus up, for the love of Christ.
Not just that, but you can also see the look of absolute disgust from her father. Like, why is the priestess touching this crazy hobo?
This man really needs to be informed what the fuck happened.
But yes, definitely playful little thing. You actually see that he has a couple of little like little bottle caps of water that it is somehow drinking.
Okay.
But ooh. Okay. History. I'm just gonna roll this now. Alright, I need a delete that. Okay, so I had to roll on his chaos table. So for a very brief moment, Dan turns very still. Eyes look a lot more different than they used to be.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Straightens up. And, you do hear a familiar voice. That does not belong to Dan. Well,
Oh no.
it has been a long time, Miss Decentra. Last time we met was running away from the cult.
Do I know the
Yes.
person talking to me?
He can roll me history at advantage.
Is that your cult? Is this your cult daddy? No, it's my cult mommy. I actually know who it is, like above table, but I just want to make sure. My mind thinks Starbeard, but I just want to make sure.
Well, you remember you did ran away from the cult from a bunch of people, with a bunch of people on your
Yeah,
side.
Starbeard makes the most sense. Oh my god, that's the thing I nat 20 on.
You were close, but not Starbeer.
Damn,
I'll just put this token right here.
Wait one sec. Oh. Oh, sorry.
Hey, you got the nat 20, so I had to show the actual token.
Damn. I thought you erased from all existence.
Not quite. Due to the...
It's not Gabriel, but I forget his actual name.
No, it's Aurum.
Arum, thank you. AKA literal gold.
Yes.
Golden Lion. That's why it threw me off when I first met him, because I'm like, God damn it, miser.
I mean,
Arum.
I'm not. I don't. I don't like. I like to think that I'm very
Subtle.
subtle, but most of the time I'm not.
To be fair, it's subtle if you don't know Latin. The problem is I knew Latin, so that threw me off immediately.
But
Anyway.
yes, it's so I will describe it this way. It still looks like Dan. It still smells like Dan. It most likely
It still
is.
tastes like Dan.
Yes, it likely is still Dan, except right now the person talking to you is not Dan. And he just looks to you.
Don't ask why I'm tasting Dan. That's between me and Daniel.
I guess Ari'zel will have to question that later on.
It's like the smell taste. Like when you get so close, you could actually taste the air around them. Kind of taste, not actual fucking taste.
I refuse to believe.
Yes, our
Just
Ataria licked Dan one time.
Oh, yikes.
I
buddy.
mean, you guys had
Well,
experience with
considering
his.
it's mushroom-
Yeah.
And before, anyway, sorry.
How about
Sorry,
the
miser for interrupting.
Yeah. So Arum is speaking through Dan, and just adds. Arum.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You go first.
Yeah, Arum speaks through Dan, and Dan is currently not home. Yes, the situation went far beyond what I had been trying to avert.
Well, think of it this way, Arum. At the very least, I'm in a position to ascend to a throne, and we're trying to fix reality from breaking even further. Or rather, reset it in a way that benefits most of us.
Your father, who's sitting right between the two of you, looks very confused. Looks at this hobo man, which you are certain that's the only thing he can see. Sir,
Yep.
why are you talking to the High Priest as if you two casually know each other? And Arum, speaking through Dan, that's because I do. Former bishop. And I also know you. On multiple layered timelines.
If you want me to explain, Father, Daniel is a broken man, but sometimes acts as a conduit for others to intercept. And thankfully, I got one of the better people to intercept in between.
Mr. Daniel, well, Nathaniel, as this body's name is actually, has other problems and issues, but that's not here or there at this particular conjunction of time. I will simply admit that the thrones and, well, what is to most likely come forward was not exactly the outcome I was expecting either. I can only imagine the mindfuckery people are getting now, unfortunately.
I'm fine. I'm just trying to process this. So, Arum, since you're at least here for the time being, do you have any words of wisdom to impart?
Well, considering that you had very briefly defeated the inevitables, I had some freedom to move around without them pursuing me, and the other remaining paradoxes that are not going to exist for very long now that the planes of existence has been flattened to a
Straight
zero.
line.
Yes.
Wait, does that mean we ourselves, and myself, Syndra, Mavis, Ari, are all going to, and Turnin are all going to be erased, or do we have an anchor point?
You are the anchor points.
Kind of weird that a paradox is also the anchor point.
That is because, as he looks to your father, Cyganus, and just says, no offense, but on certain outcomes, you are the most despicable creature that I've ever had to deal with. Then looks over to Ataria to enhance, or rather to give clarity to your point. Paradoxes are also similar to parallels, and when the whole multi-dimensional theory goes that one makes a choice at some point in another time, at that exact moment you make the other choice. Hence the joke, or rather the statement that choice is an illusion. The thing is that at this moment, because the paradoxes and anchors, as well as the ones pulling all the strings, have decided to zero out the vast multi-choices and start anew. And then, of course, there are those that want to keep the status quo. I am on the line of keeping the status quo, if you are wondering on that part.
Are you afraid that our plan may break that?
Yes and no. Yes, in the fact that there may be one or another that could usurp your plan and make it their own. A particular angry, vile god that likes to take the form of a mask.
Yeah.
And no, because that would simply be that you've returned things to status quo.
Well, at the very least, Aram, I thank you for your vote of confidence, and it's nice to talk to you at least for a little bit.
I also have to come with some slightly bad tidings.
Go on.
Due to the situation, it is true that time is no longer a problem, but this also means that those that have the power to manipulate time can now simply adjust things to how they wish it to be. Ed, for example, is one such creature.
Well, at the very least, be thankful we have a very skilled time wizard on our side. Though I don't know if she wants to coin flip anything or not.
Indeed. I will simply say, as he looks over to Syndra's direction, but does not say anything to not disturb her or anyone, just adds, just be a bit wary that due to the situation, time magic may or may not fluctuate in power and efficiency.
I'll be sure to at least let her know because I trust her more than at least anyone else to get the job done. But I appreciate your warning, Aram. It's good to speak with you, albeit half your life. No. So how Time Wizard works is you literally coin flip, and it either destroys all the monsters on your side of the field or on the enemy side of the field.
Yes, and then I also take damage from the amount that was destroyed too, at least half of it.
Yeah, that might be a different Time Wizard, but yeah.
But I'm also mentioning just making a joke out of it. Anyway,
So, to kind of get bad. So, I appreciate everything that you've done, Aram, at least to help us to this point. But I fully believe we are in the position where we can handle everything. But any guidance that you provide, I'll take it with the utmost sincerity, or whatever you have left.
Yes, the last thing to say before Dan's body reverts back to its chaotic state of mind. There are pockets of instances of lands and existences so that you may or may not be able to hop onto.
That may be helpful if we're trying to go save the Storm Stinger.
Yes, that one is a much smaller one, so it is at a higher risk of being crushed.
All they need is a light and a beacon and someone to cut through the void. Thankfully, we have two idiots that are willing to do that. Looks at Tiernan and, Gub.
Yes, think of your current situation as a massive sea, I suppose. So you'll need a very good captain, as he gestures in the direction of Syndra.
I mean, I trusted her this far, plus I owe her a fucking ship from forever ago.
Your father hearing this, wait, you owe a what now, a ship?
Don't worry about it, we'll talk about that later.
Speaking of talking about it later.
Sorry.
Nope, just rolling this. Yep, that makes sense. The straightened out posture kind of slumps a little bit forward. You hear the big sniffling of that. I taste gold. Why do I got gold dust in my mouth? Ah, right. I'm drinking this iron flask. Want some?
I'm good, Daniel. I think I've had enough of a conversation for tonight. I think you should go pester someone else because there are others looking for a drink. Points to, like, the table over here.
Which table you were pointing at? I'm gonna look up.
Did it not ping?
No,
It was
didn't.
over here. Like, towards
Oh.
the dragon kind in the mushrooms.
Oh no. Roll me a persuasion advantage.
I know this man loves his mushrooms. Oh god, my persuasion's such ass. And
Alright. As he gets up. Walk straight over here.
don't mind who I keep company, Cygnus. There's a lot of things that changed within this land and others I had to make deals with, so... The person I was talking to wasn't actually the hobo, but a man of great rapport that believes in the Fading Dragon's cause.
You're,
I'm
Cyan
telling that to her dad.
Yeah, I know. He's you can kind of see that he's trying very hard to achieve or understand what you're
Don't.
saying, and then it just adds. In other words, the hobo is just a mouthpiece to something else. All right, I think
He's a mouthpiece to a greater being, though that greater being, due to the essence of the void, is going to be lost to time. But it was his dying words and information that is most crucial to our cause.
I'm going to need a very strong vintage wine drink now.
I don't blame you, to be honest. This temporal shit has been getting on my nerves ever since it started.
He calls out for a very strong bottle of wine. Which the bartender was handling it, or at least another one. This individual, which you have seen her a few times from both Rashika and also
I guess
serving.
here. I guess here, right? Because it was only Rashkan in here.
No, she was also serving at the Emerald. At the
Oh, wait,
Stag.
shit, you're right.
At
He
the
was
Stag.
serving at the other end of the Emerald Star.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Well, Cygnus, have a good rest, have a good drink. I have some other shit I need to do with the Fading Hearts, aka the people that you're going to be supplying aid to with what little you have. So, I wish you the best and try to get a good night's rest, or whatever a night would count for you.
I suppose a good 4 hours of meditation will do. So first,
Don't think too hard. I implore you that.
it is very difficult when I am not in my usual place of meditation and control.
If you talk to Deneb and strike a deal with hold on, let me see how much gold I have real quick before I do this. I can't open my character sheet from that way. Oh wait, never mind. Being weird. I don't have any gold, but let me see what else I have on me. I don't want to give him any of that. If you talk with the Neb and strike a good deal with you can at least get a room where I could mimic your old home. And the like, you just have to negotiate. Think of it like a sales pitch.
She's
She's
not
willing
like
to
one of
work
those
with as long
hags,
as
is
you're
she?
willing to offer.
She's not one of those hags, is she? I didn't sense anything fey-like from her, but...
No. The best way to put it is she's a half goddess, and always willing to work as long as she could strike an angle or a deal. So as long as you're nice to her, she's nice to you.
She could put the bill.
Weird thing to say to the general racist high elf. Think of it this way, Cygnus. We're in a land far beyond our understanding and capabilities. You don't want to piss off the wrong people and immediately get yourself kicked out of this land, no?
Considering that not too long ago, me and my family were neck deep with creatures from the void and the emptiness out there, I will take my chances here.
Good. Like I said, as long as you're willing to work with her, she's always willing to work with someone. Though she does tend to take an angle price-wise, but offer something that would entice her, and she'll be willing to cooperate. Tis the operation of a businesswoman. Very stern one at that, but still willing to work with people.
As long as she's not some sort of chaotic fey creature that I have to deal with. I had enough of the winter and summer court with their whimsical manners.
Trust me, she's no Oberon or something of that nature, so
As soon
she works with people.
as soon as you say Oberon, the high elf here, your father from another timeline, just has the most darkening face, and the wrinkles are more pronounced.
I knew saying that would probably... Think of it as this way. She's just a simple merchant. She just wants to sell you something. You just have to offer her something in return. But nothing fey where you're selling your soul for it. Or your firstborn.
Very well, I shall see what wares she has to offer.
Have a good one then, Cygnus.
You
You
too.
deserve at least a long rest.
You as well, priestess of the fading dragon.
Oh my god, that was such a pain in the ass. And she said, like, at least, like, far enough away that...
Maybe I could.
Like, she'd definitely say it where she's not within earshot of her father. To think I'd be playing a high-end role.
Well, you don't need to roll a perception. You can see that he is clearly just savoring the wine, but he's also somewhat chugging it in now. So
It's not so much parents, Ari. It's he doesn't even know who I am. Meaning, either I wasn't born in this timeline, or because I erased myself from that timeline, he doesn't know me in the slightest. Which is good to a degree. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead and say what you were gonna say.
Which is good to a degree, because that gives me some leverage being the priestess and not his daughter. But it's bad to a degree, because he's also listening to my word as gospel.
Well, I mean, that might be... I would take a look at that as maybe a good thing. And if that's the case, I mean, you could manipulate the shit out of him. I'm sure that he's done the same to you.
Sadly, well, it's more so my mother that manipulated the shit out of all events that happened. But in his timeline, he went for milk and the world started ending. Yeah, he actually went for he went for fake cigarettes and never came back.
Oh my god. He went out for the dragon heart.
He went out for the Fey weed and then never came back because he got lost in the Feywild.
There you go.
I didn't know I had a daughter.
Who the fuck are you? But think of it this way, Ari. At least he won't judge me for you, and rather just see me as the pinnacle of what the fading dragon could be. Which also puts more pressure on fucking me, which I'd rather fucking not. Excuse me.
Had a little bit much to drink there.
Just a tad. I'm also fucking nervous from all this shit. This is the first time I've ever actually had to lead a cult where I'm actually in control and not being manipulated.
Yeah.
That's more drinks there.
Well,
Oh, I need to
I
pull
guess
that.
it was nice to meet him.
At the very least, at least it's not my actual fault. He would have been a lot more prejudiced. But considering, as I said, my role in a broken timeline, I think he's willing to accept the reality that he's in, which is better for our cause, all in honesty. But kind of going back on it, are you okay? I know we've dealt with your mother and everything, and I didn't have time to ask, but I was curious how you are doing.
I honestly don't know. I am in kind of a weird, like, there's just so much, you know? I don't know what to believe, what I saw. I don't know if all of it will, I mean, the amount of timelines, I'm so sick of timelines. I don't want to hear another word about them. Like, this is getting to be so much. I watched my mother die in front of me by the hands of my father. And I don't know what that means yet. I don't know what that means here, now, in this timeline. And I don't know how to make sense of it. And I want to drink to the... Just forget about it, to be honest. But...
Well, I won't bore you with theories. Sorry. I won't bore you with theories, lecture, temporal bullshit. Just fucking drink till we don't remember anything. I need to forget this night.
Yeah, you and me both.
There's always a nice bedroom that could accommodate the drinks.
I probably will be, taking you up on that offer.
I guess then at that point, Ataria will lead Ari away with also ordering a shit ton of drinks.
As you do that, one of the pumpkin heads just puts a small little basket full of various alcohol bottles. Just it just grumbles at you.
Then River.
Okay, go.
Yeah.
Zoom out in order to see half of this shit. Like, seriously.
Don't play on a laptop, dummy.
Well, even if I played on a fucking regular ass computer, it's gonna have the same effect on me. I have to zoom in to see my character, and then I have to zoom out.
I'm just so used to, like, always having the map zoomed out because DM. So, that's on me.
I have a very hard zoom in.
Yeah, I understand for, like, streaming purposes, it's better to zoom in completely because it makes more sense to, like, look at the here and now, but I always zoom out as a player.
No, for sure. I got two screens, one that's fully zoomed out, the other one that's zoomed in.
Dude, I need a second monitor so bad for that regard. BRB gonna get food. Okay. If you want to do Syndra's thing, then or elaborate more.
For Ari'zel and Ataria, no worries. That's Fade the Black stuff. And resuming to Syndra, you see that Tyrion drank some weird ass concoction. He is out cold. You're not sure how that happened, but it did happen. And it was very weird. You saw Dan walk up to High Elf. The High Elf had the obvious reaction. Ataria was talking for a brief minute. You didn't get to hear much of the conversation since there is a lot of other people talking about But you're also enjoying your time with Amana.
I think at one point, Syndra just kind of reaches over and lifts up Tyrannon's eyelid to see if he's like completely passed out or not.
Well, his forehead's reacting.
Well, at least he's not dead.
And then, you hear, Galmac come by. As, he has this other drink with him. Oh, right. Friend Tyrannon decided to try a new drink called Dragon Slayer. But then you read the bottle that he shows, and this is what it actually says.
Oh dear. He'll be out for the night. I can't be comfortable in that position. Which is why I'm going to leave him like that.
You do see there is some discussions going on with everyone else. You also see Zarmbal mostly talking to everyone, though he does call out to you as well.
I suppose we should see what's going on there.
Yeah, let's see if I can. There we go. He just calls out, says, if you have a moment, Syndra, or well, from the looks of Tyrannon, he is out cold, and some of the others have already left for the moment. My witches need a little bit of your time.
She'll drag Amana along.
Yeah, she'll come with. You're given a seat, and I can't really provide the seats here as a DM at the moment, but you do see like everyone is sitting pretty much in a funny, squared out, very massive square table. And Zarmbal, looking in your direction. Well, I don't suppose you saw what had happened to the lands.
Well, we saw the spinning torrent of destruction across it, but not really what else happened.
Right. There was the spinning torrent of abnormality, but then the world just vanished. Or should I say it was pulled in. Did not feel the land, did not feel the air, nothing. And thus all of us were floating in the maw of the abyss, as we would call it, or as the cat pumpkin girl calls it, the void.
Surprised you weren't all drawn in with it, to be honest.
That is the part that we were trying to figure out, since it points to the various other people here. There were others that were not even close to our territory that were floating the void. And somehow managed to reach us.
I would say it was probably Deneb's magic, but I suspect that came later.
Indeed. We only managed to, I believe the term is, anchor ourselves to this form of reality thanks to the combined efforts. Also, as he pointed in the direction of where Ataria and Ari'zel went, the young champion of Baraktios, I suppose we have her to thank, as Baraktios is currently swimming within that void.
Is he still in the middle of combat or just out there?
We are not sure. We do sense his presence, at least those of us that have a deeper link to the land, or at least where it once was.
And the slumbering mountain?
That is the problem. That is gone. And that's why we are all discussing various theories, and we wanted to hear from your side if you had experienced anything abnormal or what you and your group have done for us. Perhaps we can put together what we have been failing us to understand the full extent of the Magus and the traitorous primal, as well as whatever else has caused this anomaly.
Well, if I understand what was told to me by... She looks over her shoulder. Shub. Then the Magus is somewhere around the heart of Eric Huss. Which should also put him probably near the heart of Ascaroth at this point too, being the... everything sucked him to the same point. Does make me question about the Titan of the End, being that its destructive path tends to be different than what we've witnessed.
My memories, or rather the information that I have gained from my mother's memories, do not extend too much into the Titan of the End, other than the existence, or at the very least the completion of the Magus' plan, is that everything is simply snuffed out without resistance. But it didn't seem to come quite as true as we are still here.
Syndra kind of looks around at everybody. Well, there is a chance that we're all here because something else chose us to be.
I wonder if such a being is benevolent or malevolent.
I feel that its hands are probably tied more than it wishes to be, but that might not be the case either.
There's definitely
That is
heavy.
good.
Oh, continue.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
as you say this, you definitely feel the heavy silence. Zarbal is doing most of the talking. The others are just silently listening in, but you can definitely feel the slight grip, tensions. There's no hostility, but it's more of restless agitation, even though some of them are trying to drink it out of themselves, such as Richard, as he is already downed a third bottle of whiskey. But despite the amount of alcohol that man had consumed, he is alert and sober.
All I can say for certain is that the end hasn't come for us yet. That means we have some chance to fight. Or we could just give up. I mean, it's really whichever you really choose to do. I'm not going to judge any of you.
There is silence as a lot of them are looking at each other, and Zarbal, likely speaking for at least everyone's silent thought process of it is not that we are giving up, but rather restless, I believe, is the proper word. There is limited actions that we can take now. Worse, without a direction to take action.
Everyone in my group is aiming for a different direction, it seems. I can't really tell you which way to go. Or which path is the right path to take. But if I were a gambling woman, and I am not by any standard, I would say you all have a reason for existing, which means there's at least one last fight before the end.
Gur is fine with that. Gur just says that. While Okita is literally sitting on his shoulder, like basically she has chosen his shoulder to be her throne. Zarbal just kind of twitches his snout a little bit. And speaking of snouts, where are the other ones? Move that around. Don't need that. You do feel a very familiar presence suddenly behind you.
I was beginning to wonder. She pets him gently.
He accepts.
All the creatures to see here, I did not really expect to see you, being how everything else went, but it's good to see.
Kind of just nudges his snout to your cheek. It just gives like a very friendly poke. Then gestures and shows in the direction that there's the others over there. One of them, very familiar, kind of just hides off elsewhere, making sure to keep out of sight. But looking in the direction where Ataria went.
Oh, good. Somebody's been feeding Banana. I was worried about that one.
He looks healthier now. Now that he was taken out of his vegan diet. And Zarambol just goes, well, if what you say is right, then I suppose the real test and challenge will be simply to wait until it's time to act. I'll be sure that when the time does come to act, I'll bring my full strength to it.
From what I imagine, it'll be an entire force of his living armors. He's got quite an army behind him, being that he assimilated multiple cities.
Now with Andre, after getting his scritches, heads off right back to the group. But as he does that, can you roll me a D100, Syndra?
Yep. 66.
Good old Dan. Guy just tilts his head, looks over to your direction, quickly wobbles over to you, leans in and just tries to go his best way to whisper. You also see how the others kind of look like they want to throw him out of the table again. And he goes, I think he did more than just slurped up the few cities. This time around, I certainly can see it.
Go on.
I mean, did you not see that big giant swirly thing in the sky? It will look like it was a flushing toilet. So where did all the stuff that went down the toilet went?
Probably into a singularity.
And what could a singularity be? As he says singularity in the most horrible, wrong way possible.
So he's got a few worlds, well, yeah. Control such a force would be an interesting feat, even for a wizard like him.
That shit happens. Hmm? Wait, I didn't say he was a wizard.
No, you're very true. I don't believe he is a wizard.
Yeah, gotta have a big stomach to have all that kind of stuff. Okay, I need to get myself a funnel and drink this iron flask now. As he walks over to the bar. Ignis and Calmarex, the two couple here, they just have their eyes slightly roll. You can clearly see that their snouts are a little wrinkled up. How do you deal with that guy's smell?
To be honest, in a weird way, he's not the worst thing I've smelled amongst a person.
As Ignorus just kind of scratches his nostrils a bit. Zarnball just clearly doesn't like the man and just adds, "He smells wrong, but he hasn't harmed anyone."
Oh, yes. Don't think he intends to. I think he's just troubled with knowledge.
Yeah, you can just hear a little bit of a dispute as Mad Dan is asking the bartenderess, the very large funneler, to basically drink a keg out of.
I can see Mad Dan doing a cake stand.
So, time will pass. Everyone will get their long rest. Various members of the, well, whatever was left of the Emerald Star outpost and other places that you've managed to somehow keep anchored into existence will remain here. There are others that are inside the other various facilities of Deneb's shop. You may go visit them at your leisure. And I believe if anyone else has nothing else, or if they wish to do anything else, let me know. Or forever hold your peace.
I think I'm good because we're kind of faded black, so.
Yeah. So.
I did not expect to see fucking Aurum through Dan, though.
I'm kind of hoping you guys figure out what Dan is eventually.
At this point, I expect Dan is just a temporal anomaly that just can kind of act as a conduit for fucking anyone we want to talk to. Or he's just the end personified.
He's secretly Mordenkainen. After all.
No, God, no. I'd rather kill myself than have Mordekainen in our fucking bar. I'm generally under the belief, though, he's probably like a temporal elemental or something close to that regard.
Alright, so we will end the session here. Thank you, everyone. I am Miser Mark. It's a bit of a shorter session, but still we got a bigger amount of RP and some downtime for everyone to rest, collect themselves, get some new information, and sort things out. You can find my content on both YouTube and Twitch under Miser Mark. 3 of our players were not available today due to a flu or sickness coming around. Wish them luck, wish them to get better real safe and sound, rapidly, all that other stuff. And I will hand it over to Mariner.
Hello, I am Transpace Mariner. You can find me on Twitch on Transpace Mariner, and occasionally just hanging out in a few other Twitch chats as well as in these kind of games where I play a host of other characters and the like. But yeah, that's. I don't really have much else to plug outside of that, so I guess I'll throw it over to my usual partner for Monday games, being Moogle.
Hello. Right now, It's a Gamble is on hold while we play some Call of Cthulhu while I go through some things to see if we can continue It's a Gamble. Just a break doing some Call of Cthulhu, so if you want some spooky times, then next Monday will be another one. And I don't really have anything else to plug, really.
River, anything, or are you good?
Nothing yet. Eventually, I do want to get on to streaming at some point. It'll be maybe like a 1 day a week type of thing, but It'll be a while before that happens.
No worries,
So.
my friend.
This whole group is just gonna be streaming at some point.
Eventually. Eventually we'll get there. I need to also update and upgrade my stuff. But anyway, let me continue with the outro of thank you everyone. I believe tomorrow is, well, soon it'll be Veterans Day for those that are in North America. So enjoy, have a safe weekend on those other holidays that come up. Holiday season, we're in it, we're in the thick of it, middle of it, whatever. Everyone, be safe, well, enjoy, and take care.
Bye. Bye.